The Lone Gunmen were created for the X-Files TV series, as Mulder's conspiracy-filled buddies that helped him out from time to time. Any X-Files episode with this trio always was a favorite of mine. Once I seen the Lone Gunmen pop up in an episode, it filled me with excitement. And when I heard that this beloved trio was going to get their own spin-off series, I of course jumped around like an idiot in excitement. The series would be released in March of 2001 and would only last one season and 13 episodes. Now in this video, I'm going to be picking my top 5 favorite episodes from this short-lived but awesome TV show. So let's get this thing started.
Langley, what about journalistic integrity? We cannot print rumors.
The Lone Gunmen and Jimmy Bond.
What would a dead woman need a prescription for?
Set out to prove a senator is responsible for murdering the woman he was doing you-know-what with. Langley, Frohickey, and Byers start receiving information from an anonymous tip.
Gentlemen, looks like we may have ourselves a deep throat.
They decide to let Jimmy join the campaign to uncover the informant's identity. And let's just say he gets himself into some sticky situations.
What's happening there, Jimmy?
For Frohickey and Langley, they follow a lead that leads them to the senator's love nest, where they discover, well, a baby watching the boob tube. What else? They decide to bring the baby back to their headquarters. And it's a slow start, but after a while, they get this babysitting thing down.
You could be thrown in jail.
With the election coming up, time is running out to find the informant. So they decide to pull the old give everyone coffee and get their fingerprints off the cup trick. There's only one problem.
That's not your cup?
No, and not her fingerprints either.
So, who was the informant? Did the senator know about the baby? Did he really kill the mother of his child? Is the senator just a scumbag? Will the people ever know?
I'm gonna save these boys some trouble. I'm gonna tell the people out there the truth.
It's all in the episode, people. All in the episode. 3 Men in a Smoking Diaper was written by X-Files creator Chris Carter. And it's fun to see his comedic side. It's not something we got to see too often on the X-Files, as most of the classic funny episodes in the series were written by Darren Morgan. All in all, Chris Carter's not bad at writing these type of episodes. It would have been nice if the series could have gone on, so we could have seen more of this from him.
I feel better now. Really. I'm fine.
Bond Jimmy Bond is the second episode in the series. It introduces a new character, Jimmy Bond, who becomes a regular on the show.
Bond. Jimmy Bond. Call me Jimmy.
The question in this episode is, how far will the Lone Gunmen go for the truth?
Ask yourself, how far will you go to print them?
Not that far.
Is Frohickey really a kung fu master, or is somebody else pulling the strings? Eve shows up at the Lone Gunman's door with the news of the death of Alex Goldsmith, a young man still living with his mom, who happens to be one of the best hackers in the world. The Lone Gunmen set out to investigate, starting with Alex's clueless mom, who has no idea of her son's actions and thinks he is a good boy. But Byers finds evidence that might suggest otherwise.
It's a bank check dated 4 days ago, made out to Alex Goldsmith for $1 million.
With a few more complications.
At the moment, being loaded into a car trunk.
The Lone Gunmen eventually solve the mystery that they are trying to unfold, and in the end, they do the right thing.
It was good of you, Langley. Giving her the check was the right thing to do.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of you.
This episode plays a lot on our heroes fighting a losing battle with some hilarious turn of events. They don't have money for their next Lone Gunman issue or even gas, for that matter.
It's a known carcinogen, you ingrate. Got like a pint of it down in my stomach.
They don't exactly have the hero status of Batman with his giant mansion, billions of dollars, and a giant bat cave. Nope, this trio takes on murderers, hackers, and evil government agents while pushing their van down the road.
That's it, I'm getting a horse.
This is why I love the Lone Gunmen so much. They're true underdogs fighting the good fight, and it can be intense and heart-pumping while being hilarious at the same time. And did I forget to mention that Bond, Jimmy Bond, has the best ending out of any Lone Gunmen episode? Well, it does.
You guys fight the lost causes.
In this episode, Eve dances her way into taking down an arms dealer. The story has the Lone Gunman in Miami at a shipyard tracking Eve, where Langley blows her cover. Eve shows up at their hotel room in anger and gives them $500 to get the heck out of Miami. And Frohickey is okay with this as he consistently tries to persuade the others to drop the story and go back home. But Langley sees things differently.
Why would she throw money at us if the deal's blown? The only thing's blown is us, and not in a good way.
Eve goes undercover and joins the tango competition, taking out the smuggler's partner and taking her place. Byers, Langley, and Jimmy try joining the tango, but don't really have what it takes. Meanwhile, Frohickey's reason for wanting to leave Miami comes to light.
Así que regresa el gran lobo, eh?
That's right, Frohickey is a tango legend. What? Would you really expect less from Frohickey? Come on, people. Even Frohickey joined the tango competition where the exchange is supposed to take place. And it's a stab. For the bad guys, that is.
Frohickey, the radar composite is in the CD.
Get that CD.
And eighth row. All in all, this is a great episode with a lot of funny moments.
Huh? I still hit her screaming my head. Ah!
It also shows us that there might be more to Eve than we think, as she doesn't do this for money or selfish reasons like she always seems to do.
What'd she do this for then?
Because it was the right thing to do.
It's also really fun to learn about Frohickey as a tango legend. One word sums it up, and that is classic.
Sexual energy burned during this dance took 2 years off my life. That's why I quit in the first place.
And now it's time for... Did You Know? Did you know if the series ends on a cliffhanger? That's right. The episode all about Eve's ends on a to be continued. After the series was canceled, they would decide to kill the characters off in the X-Files episode Jump the Shark. The episode would also have 2 guest appearances by fellow X-Files characters Fox Mulder and Morris Fletcher. If the Lone Gunmen series did not get canceled, not only were they not going to kill them off, but they were also going to have the Morris Fletcher character become a regular on the show. Another fun note about the episode is that when the Lone Gunmen break into the government facility, they steal the identities of some agents to get in. And the identities happen to be 3 co-producers and writers in the Lone Gunmen and X-Files series. In this episode, the Lone Gunmen are looking for a water-powered car, invented by a scientist who Frohickey actually met years ago, and even rode in the water-powered vehicle.
Legend nothing, he did it. I saw it, I rode in it.
It starts with us seeing the Lone Gunmen as kids, all of them uniquely different in their own right. There is Byers, the idealist, Langley, the computer god, and Frohickey, a man of action. Three heroes destined to be together.
To change the world. To make history.
The Lone Gunmen get continuously frustrated with Jimmy Bond in this episode.
I'm watching you.
Oh no, Frohickey, Jimmy's not done yet. There's a lot going on in this episode. We have a murdered clerk from the Freedom of Information Office, a paranoid Frohickey thinking the mailman is an assassin, the Lone Gunman nearly being blown up and classically appearing walking through the fog, and a bull who saves the day with a kick. Frohickey's dream does come true as they eventually find the water-powered car. But they realize they can't leak this information out as it would cause a disaster. This episode has spectacular writing. It's the perfect plot for a Lone Gunman episode. And I like seeing the Lone Gunmen as kids. The more we got to see into these characters' backgrounds, the better. They start off as just small side characters that came on the X-Files here and there. We really didn't get to see much into the Lone Gunmen until the X-Files Season 5 episode titled Usual Suspects. But by the time the show came along, we got to see a lot more into these classic characters, and this episode is a perfect example of that. And it has a pretty awesome ending.
It's because three heroes knew when not to act.
The episode starts in Nebraska in the early 80s where we see young Langley hating farm life and all the crappy chores that go with it. But there was still one joy he had.
And none made me feel better than Captain Toby.
Meanwhile, a woman is being chased through the mall, and it's pretty intense. The woman is kind of awesome, taking out the two men chasing her. Later on, the Lone Gunmen are skimming through the newspaper for possible lies, and Frohickey spots two men's death that seems suspicious. Both dying of a heart attack on the same day, and both worked as stagehands on the same kids' TV show. Byers and Langley gotta check it out, and for Langley, well, let's just say it's a dream come true.
That was Captain Toby. This is the Captain Toby show. I can't believe it.
Until it's not.
Why don't I even recognize it? What the hell did I do to it?
They end up finding out that the dead stagehands were actually FBI agents. So what does this all boil down to? Well, they find out they're using the show's reboot as an information conduit to the Chinese. But that would mean Langley's childhood hero could be a spy. No way.
One we provided for you at government expense. Do you understand these rights?
No way is right. It ends up being that woman that took out the two FBI agents was a double agent the entire time. Who would have figured? Well, I guess I was a little suspicious. Maybe not a lot, but a little. Not only is this my favorite Lone Gunman episode, but it's also my favorite Langley episode. Seeing his favorite TV show as a child and how much it meant to him is something I relate to.
He made my childhood bearable.
It's that nostalgia feeling that we all reach for from time to time. We also get to see him go through the feeling that they're ruining his favorite kids show. A feeling I know oh too well.
The new Captain Toby show? What does that mean?
Well, that's it. My top 5 favorite Lone Gunman episodes. Yours may differ, and that's totally awesome. Everyone's favorite should be what they connected to or enjoyed the most. There is no right or wrong answers.
Unless maybe you're talking about some other Frohickey.
Frohickey I know? I'm hoping he's the only one.